others begin to wonder, what sort of secret, what is the secret for their being in this chaotic situation, in this situation where there are a lot of problems. In midst of all this, in spite of all this, they live in peace and happiness. So, therefore, we have to protect our practice just like mother protects her own only child. That is possible. Now, where is metta? If the metta practice is so important, metta, karuna, mudita, upekkha, these four Brahma viharas are so important, it must be in the heart of Buddha's teaching. What is the heart of Buddha's teaching? Four Noble Truths. It should be in the Four Noble Truths. Can you imagine, can you think where in Four Noble Truths can we find the four Brahma Viharas? Metta, Karuna, Mudita, Upekkha? Is it in the first Noble Truth, suffering? Or in the second? Or in the third? Or in the fourth? It must be in the heart of his teaching. Can anybody guess? Well, if we have not thought of it, please from now on try to understand where in the Buddha's heart of teaching, main teaching, can we find metta, karuna, mudita, upekkha. Last night I mentioned 8 precepts. Where do we find 8 precepts? In the right thought, right speech, right action. Right thought, right speech, right action. What is the right thought? Thought of letting go, nekkhamma sankappa, thought of letting go, that is thought of renunciation, nekkhamma sankappa. Renunciation sounds very big word, but when we very carefully look at it, it is something that anybody can practice while living any ordinary life. That is letting go of our greed, obsessive greed. Little by little, little at a time, not the whole lot of greed. We cannot give up whole greed, but at least little bit of it at a time. Each time we let go of our greed, we practice renunciation. Just think of the things that what we try to gain, what we try to buy, what we try to achieve. Many of these things are totally unnecessary. We begin from there. Not buying, collecting, accumulating unnecessary things. We start from there. We buy and buy and buy and buy, and then we have collector's items as well. What those collector's items got to do with our life? Just for the vanity, we collect them. We start from there. Let go. And we can go into various other things. We don't have time to explain all this. Anyway, that is, there comes a thought of letting go. Then comes avyapada sankappa. thought of non-hatred. Thought of non-hatred itself is not metta. Thought of non-hatred is opening the door to practice metta. When we do not hate, what do? We cultivate metta. That is where metta is mentioned in Sabba Pana Bhuta Hitanukampi Virati. Living with the thought of well-being and happiness of all living beings. That is metta practice. Then the third thought is non-cruelty, avihimsa sankappa, thought of non-cruelty. Thought of non-cruelty means compassion, karuna. So two of the Brahma Viharas we find there, metta and karuna. Then speech, right speech, not telling the truth, speech to bring harmony among people instead of divisive gossip, divisive or slanderous talk, and talking softly, gently, kindly, not harsh words, and speaking meaningful things, not gossip. All these are practice of metta. Why? When we tell the truth, we do not cause irritation in others' minds. When you lie, every time you lie, we create some kind of discomfort in others' minds. Knowing the person knows this is not truth, this is a lie. Out of compassion, out of metta, we do not lie. Out of compassion, out of metta, we do not slander. Slandering hurts people, hurts their life. Causing hurt in any way is cruelty. We practice compassion by not slandering, but telling things to bring unity, harmony among people. And then speaking harshly. Anytime we speak harshly, we hurt people. If we speak softly, gently, kindly, we make people happy. Whatever we do to make people happy is an act of metta, act of compassion. Then, instead of wasting our time by gossiping, we speak meaningful things. When we gossip, we also hurt people, talking about various things about various people. And when we tell the meaningful things, we make people happy. And then, right action. What is the right action? Abstaining from killing. Is there any better practice of living friendliness, metta, compassion? Abstaining from killing is one thing. When we abstain from killing, what else we do? We wish them peace, wish them life, wish them safety, security. We make them feel that they are secure. You know, in animal sanctuaries, they feel secure. In open land, open forest, they don't feel secure because anytime they will be killed, hunted. When deer come to our property, they feel secure. Why? They know that we are not hunting. So, when we do not kill, we not only abstain from killing, but at the same time we practice metta. We practice metta, we make them. So this practice we have to protect, just like mother protects her only child. We protect this practice. And by all means, we try to uphold the practice of metta. And when we do not steal, we practice metta. Because anytime if I steal something from you, when you want it, it is not there. And you feel very upset, disappointed. You may not have so much wealth to buy something to replace what you have lost. So when I practice not stealing, we at the same time respect your ownership, your values, and do not create anxiety, worry, fear in your mind. You know, when you think, if you live in a house and you know everybody around you, around the house, is practicing honesty, not stealing, you don't have to worry about locking the doors, having guards, dogs, a police. You can go anywhere you like without any fear. So we give the security. By practicing metta, we give security. You begin to trust people. And then not committing sexual misconduct or sensual misconduct. We give the security and protection to others. If a girl wants to walk on the street without any fear, how secure she feels? How protected she feels? If everybody practices metta, she can walk even in the middle of the night without having any fear of attacking. That's metta practice. Practice of compassion. So, all the 4 Brahma Viharas, and the last one is equanimity. When we practice jhana, you see in the Noble Eightfold Path, last step is practicing concentration called samadhi, samma samadhi. Samma samadhi is explained invariably in terms of jhanas. And jhana is the culmination of equanimity. When we practice the 4th jhana, 3rd jhana onward, we have equanimity. So, bringing the mind to balanced state. So these 4 Brahma Viharas are in the Noble Eightfold Path in taking very prominent place. Right thought, right speech, right action, and right concentration. Of course, it also is in right mindfulness. That is why Buddha said in Karaniya Metta Sutta, Etang sating adityeya. Practice this mindfulness. What mindfulness is that? Mindfulness of metta. We have to be mindful to practice metta. Mindful of what? Mindful of the benefit, mindful of suffering of living beings. We practice metta to reduce our suffering as well as suffering of others, human, animal, and so forth. We cannot eliminate everybody's suffering, but we can reduce our own suffering and eventually influence others to reduce their suffering when we practice metta. Therefore it is called this etang sating aditteya, practice this mindfulness of metta. So then we cannot practice metta in isolation, going to a cave, going to a cemetery, living in a solitary place and so forth. We can practice, but to see them functioning, we have to be in the society, with people. Suppose you practice sitting on a cushion for 10 months in a cave and come out, and if somebody steps on your toes, you want to punch him in his nose. Where is mindfulness? Where is metta? So mindfulness and metta go hand in hand together in society, with people. There has to be living beings around us, day to day, encountering their problems, to practice metta. So in isolation we cannot practice metta. We can, but we have to bring it to the society, to the field, to see how it works in the society, how we do in society with metta. If not, it's not going to work. And therefore, we have to think of all this when we begin to practice metta. And also please remember, metta practice does not have any mysterious, hidden, secret mantra power. No mantra power. It is really, honestly, 100% practical. When we keep practicing and practicing, we will see how practical it is. We will talk more about it, about the practice, in our other talks. For now, I think as an introduction to Metta Retreat, these few ideas would be sufficient, and please think about it when you practice metta. And this is the end of the talk. Please, after a short break, continue your practice.